If you're considering purchasing one of these skull shavers or the Philips Head Shaver Pro, or you own one of these and you want to check out if the other one is better or how they compete, then you might find this video useful. I have previously used and reviewed and videoed all of the skull shaver models bar the Diamond Pro, the very expensive Diamond. Plus I have used and reviewed all of the recently introduced 2025 Philips Head Shaver Pro shavers. In this video I'm going to cover all the differences in the features and what I think of them and my experience with those features. Plus of course I'm going to do a demo head shave. So I'm going to shave on one side of my head with one shaver, the other side of the head the other way around with this shaver, and then wrap it up with some sort of feedback. This is a bit of a spoiler. In 2026 the Philips Head Shaver Pro took over this skull shaver on my best roundup page on shaveadvisor.com. I'll drop a link in the description for that. But the Philips Head Shaver Pro took over the skull shaver. The skull shaver remained the top one for 4 or 5 years. However, the skull shaver is still great head shaves. It's only just behind the Philips. The models I'll be using, this is the Skull Shaver Silver Pro SX5, so the latest Silver Pro. Then I'm going to be using the Philips Head Shaver Pro 5000 series. These are the ones that I could match for the price range at best. The SX5 costs around about $80, a little bit less than $80, and the Head Shaver Pro 5000 series, that costs $90 now. That was about $80, $70 odd dollars and $80. Philips have boosted up the price, and I think that might be because these have become extremely popular. Most of the guys already got head shavers. I've seen reviewers like myself pointing towards these. And I think what they've done is thought, right, we can boost the price up now and make a bit of extra cash. I don't know, maybe. Anyway, all of the main skull shavers are very similar in performance, and the Head Shaver Pros are all exactly the same. So we can compete these and kind of use that as a broad thing amongst all skull shavers, plus all Philips head shavers. There's mostly only going to be differences in features in models for each brand. Something I want to mention that I think is really important is warranty. I'll say that's important because these are prone to faults, you know, and faults when you recently purchase them. So it's worth having a decent warranty period. Now the Philips, it has an exceptional warranty. That's a 5 years warranty we get with this if we register it within the first 90 days of purchasing it. 5 years is unheard of in the industry. And then the skull shaver only comes with 1 year, 12 months. And an issue with skull shavers, if we want to return it, we also have to pay the postage costs and that, and we don't have that with the Philips. And I've had some readers, viewers, people who emailed that have had some issues with dealing with returns with skull shaver. There's also plenty of positive reports that I've had. However, with Philips, I've had some really good dealings with Philips. I've not done any returns, but I've had to deal with them asking about features and design and lots of other stuff. And they've been really good, really responsive customer service. So the warranty aspect kind of leaned me well more over into the Philips Head Shaver Pro for that reason, having a great warranty period. Costs, we also have to think about the cost of replacement cutters. They usually last around about 6 months or so, maybe longer for some of us guys. The Head Shaver Pro replacement blades cost around about $35 US to replace. Then the blades, the cutters that we get on the Silver Pro, they're the carver blades, they call them, which are I think around about $30 US. But if we have the Forte blades that come with the Skull Shaver Pitbull Gold Pro, they are $35 US. So they're kind of more or less around about the same price. While there are some differences in the name of the cutters, for the skull shaver, the carver blades, which are this for the silver, as I said, and the Forte blades, I've not found that much difference. Although I may have found that the skull shaver Pitbull Gold was slightly more comfortable, but that was slight. So both of these are quite tall shavers. If we take a look at them, and if I compare it with something like the, let's have a look. I've only got the Freebird Flex Series Pro here. If we take a look at this side by side, we'll see that the Philips is quite a lot taller, isn't it? Same goes with the skull shaver and the Flex Series. You'll see the skull shaver is quite a lot taller. However, that I believe is intentional because these can be used in what's called a cupping method, where we slip our fingers inside like that and we can cup it between our hands. Think about it, if they didn't make this tall, we wouldn't have that gap to be able to put it in. So that tallness is intentional. However, I know of some guys, I understand this, where they like, I don't want to have one here, they prefer like a kind of ball shape body on the shaver because that kind of fits in the hand a little bit better. Now an interesting thing about this cupping design is that skull shaver has a patent on this, so you know nobody can copy it. So how have they got away with Philips? Well, with the skull shaver with a C, it has grooves along this bottom. So if I stick my fingers in there, can't just turn it round. Stick my fingers through there, it fits in there nice, and it's got a very comfortable fit, and yeah, it's kind of got them grooves made for that. However, the Philips doesn't have anything like that within this section. It just kind of looks normal. But that doesn't stop the Philips from feeling comfortable, or it still just works just as well. It's just an additional snugger fit, I think, with the skull shaver, and I think that's enabled Philips to bypass the trademark, what do we call it? The patent. They both have 4 cutters, the same, and they both flex in nicely. One small difference is that the skull shaver has concave blades, so they're concaved in and then they flex out, whereas the Philips one, they kind of arch outwards slightly. Any difference that makes? I don't think so, nothing that I've noticed. One thing that Philips has is this head will flex 360 degrees, so that offers a little bit more flex if we're holding it in a position and manoeuvring it around our heads. So that's an additional thing that the Philips has. Battery life, the Philips has only 60 minutes, the 5000 series does. The 7000 and 9000 has more than 60 minutes, I think 90 minutes. And this has the Skull Shaver Pro SX5 has 70 minutes. So not much between them. The indicator lights, never much of a deal breaker, are they? But the indicator lights on the Philips, is very basic. There's no real indicator on there. But with the silver, we get 3 dots. We used to only get 1 dot for this. Now we get 3, so we get 3 green lights illuminating. And then once it counts down to 1, we've only got like 33% left. So bit better LEDs on the skull shaver. Waterproofing. The skull shaver is IPX6, which means it can be used in the shower. You can use it for wet shaving. And the Philips is IPX7, which means it can be used in the shower, but it also can be submerged. So if you need to go a few feet in the bath, then you can use this. So I think not much difference between IPX6 and IPX7, I don't think. Not when it just comes to shaving in the shower or in the sink. I think that just about covers what I want to cover for the features. So let's grab myself a mirror and get a head shave. And what I would be covering is, or looking for, is how quick it shaves, how comfortable the shave is, and how close we get shaved, the end finish, and the manoeuvrability, how it moves around at my head whilst I'm using it, the ease of use, if you like. So let's grab myself a mirror and get this head shave on. Right, we're starting with this. Now usually, if you've watched my head shaving videos before, I usually start with about 3 days of growth, and that's to kind of give you something to be able to see and see me removing hair. However, they're not the best way of using these head shavers. The best way of using these is every day or every 2 days. Over that, give it a quick trim down. So now I'm on about 48 hours, but this is perfect for these shavers. We've got that very short hair there, very short hair, not much going on there, but there's very fine hair on there. This is one of the reasons why I head shave with head shavers. There's the back area. So let's give the Philips my right hand side and the skull shaver my left hand side. Fire up the Philips. So I use it in the cupping design. I actually use the cupping design not only for the back of my head now, but I got used to using the skull shaver coming up the sides here. Nearly all of my head, nearly all of my head shave that I do in the cupping design. Especially about the cupping design, I find doing around the ear area, because of you need to put a bit more pressure and be a bit more precise. That shaves around the ears well enough. Let's show you on the back of the head. Alright, more or less done there. Now we'll see the Philips when I hold it like this, and move across my head there, we'll see that this flexes slightly, so that's used for that. And I'll use it that style there because I get some slight sandpapery feel hair left there. I like to put a bit more pressure on and hold it like this, and with that being able to move, that's quite handy, that's quite useful. But you can see that the blades maintain scalp contact throughout the shave. The skull shaver also does this, but that's just worth noting. Okay, that side's done. And let's compare it with a skull shaver. Skull shaver silver. It's a little bit quieter, I think, the skull shaver, isn't it? Something I've not really paid attention to before. Both of the blades to me feel very similar to cutters. Not one is more comfortable than the other. There's nothing aggressive about them, they're both comfortable. Let's do around the ears with the skull shaver. I can't always do this perfectly with the camera. Sometimes I have to go and do a bit of cleaning up after doing these videos. Okay, it's good to go. Okay, around the back of the head with the skull shaver. We'll see that the blades also stay close to the scalp throughout the shave. With the skull shaver, the same with the Phillips. Let's have a feel there. Yeah, I need to give that a bit more pressure. Okay, let's check where we're at. Oh, I think we're done on both sides there. Now, the closest is very similar, but I do, throughout the shaves that I've done, I do feel that the Phillips is slightly closer, but that's only slight. So that's it in performance. There's not much between them really, is it? Apart from, I'd probably say the Phillips is slightly closer, and that's it, but that's only slight. I mean, give it a few hours and, you know, we get the 5 o'clock shadow coming back anyway, so that doesn't make a huge amount of difference, does it? So as I said earlier in the video with the warranty period, that was a kind of deal breaker for me with the Phillips, because having a 5-year warranty with one of these knackering up after a year or 2, yeah, I mean 3 years, 3-4 years the motor goes unless you get a new one. You know, it's not something to overlook, is it? I might slightly like the feel of the skull shaver a bit better. You know, the Phillips, I don't mind it. The Phillips is slightly more bulkier. That's something that I favour with the skull shaver. Anyway, I hope that's been helpful. There's separate reviews for these 2 shavers plus all the other skull shavers and the Phillips head shavers. There'll be links in the description to the reviews for these on the website shavingadvisor.com. Plus there's a link to my roundup page of the best head shaves that I've used, which I said I put this at the top now, the Phillips head shaver at the top. There's other shaves on there like the Remingtons and that as well. So maybe take a look at that if you're undecided or want some extra information. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.